Practice.
Hello YouTube, welcome to Formula 1 2019. Here we are for the co-op career race number 13 of 21. You know what that means? That means there are 8 Grand Prix remaining till the end of the championship season. Lewis Hamilton has a 40-point lead heading into the United States Grand Prix here at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Qualifying underway now. Finally, we get the timer in the top and not just a random lap number.
When you're ready, let's go.
Alright, so here we go in quali. Huge queue of cars now behind Malenko. Leclerc, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Vettel in the queue.
They're all retarded and don't want to go around.
Alexander Albon, I believe, will be the first one out there. So Albon onto the front straightaway. Here we go. First driver on a timed lap, Alexander Albon. Uphill we go. Uphill braking into turn number 1, caution sector 3. I'm sure that is
me.
Markle. Yep. Albon, great exit out of the first corner and down the hill S as we go.
Wow, the sun is horrible in the country.
Albon really navigating those S's to the max potential. Albon now heading on to the back stretch. Up the gears we go. Again, he'll be the first driver to set a timed lap here in qualifying. Into the final sector. On the soft tires, everybody most likely would be. Albon into the final set of corners. And Albon sets a 1:33.649. This track, it took long enough. Let's see who is next. Markle tops that easily, a 1:33.46.
Oh, by the way, we were doing that thing with Scooby earlier.
Malenko goes second quickest to 1:31.599, and the Renaults again top the charts. Gasly third, Leclerc, Vettel, Sainz, Albon, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, the top 10 to take times. You were saying?
We were doing that thing with Scooby earlier. He's thinking about possibly getting this game. He's never, or he hasn't had one since either 2015 or the one before that one.
Well, I'm glad he's trying to join the dark side.
Oh, wait, what?
Nothing.
I'm just letting you know that he might.
Lance Stroll, a 5-place grid penalty for contact with Pierre Gasly. It's not like Lance Stroll was going to have that good of a qualifying lap anyway, but wow. Now Stroll gets to start really shotgun on the field. We know he's not going to qualify better than 15th. Let's be real.
I'm just. Okay. Okay. Fuck you, Gresham. Fuck you too. Go to hell. I can't believe my tire didn't come off. I really can't believe my tire didn't come off right there. Fucking Roman. Piece of shit. How much is left? There is 11:47.
So here comes Malco to the pit lane. Here we go. The Haas twins, 10th and 11th now. They beat Giovinazzi on board with Stroll. We know Stroll's going to start rear of the field. Lance, Sergio Perez in the final sector now. We're also expecting times from Robert Kubica, Lewis Hamilton next. Verstappen, Kvyat. Now Verstappen will be the fifth driver from now to take a time. Perez goes 12th quickest. Kubica 14th quickest. Mr. Stroll's on the timed lap. Hamilton, Verstappen, Russell, Bottas, and Kvyat will be the last driver to take time. Robert Kubica, 15th quickest. It's Lance Stroll, he went 14th quickest, but here comes Lewis Hamilton to the start finish line. Hamilton goes 3rd quickest, nearly a second, or nearly 8/10 slower than Markle. Next, we expect the time out of Max Verstappen. Verstappen will go 4th quickest. Now we expect the time out of George Russell. Russell coming to the final corners. We're not expecting high for him, but let's see if we can change that. Russell goes 12th quickest. Not bad. Next, we have Valtteri Bottas. Bottas onto the pit straight. Here we go. Into the final corner and onto the front stretch. Valtteri Bottas will go 5th quickest in a caution in sector 3. That's Markle going slow. Kvyat now on his way to the final sector.
I think I'm screwed in this thing. 55% on my ERS. The fuck? Auto goes.
So Kvyat will go 8th quickest. So all 20 drivers have taken time. Now Markle on another lap. Here we go. Flying through the S's.
Oh, rip my ERS.
Markle trying to get the most he can, flying down the back stretch with little ERS. He's trying to conserve it while setting a fast lap. Here we go, up the hill we go again. 14% does the ERS last. On the power once again, he's got to give it his all. Through these corners, 11% and up we go again. This is a very fast section. This may be where it comes to an end. Giving it all he can, 3%. Slows down now and gains a little bit. Down the pit stretch we go. It's going to be to the wire, but I don't know. To the start finish line, it's not going to be a fast lap. Actually, it is a 131.291.
How the fuck did ERS?
That ERS was on its last legs, and it held out just enough for Markle to come around and set a fast one. So now, track clear. 19 of the 20 drivers in the pit lane. Again, Markle out there, but he's on a cooldown lap. There's a caution there. Sector 2 where Markle is, just trying to make it back to the pits. 6:28 to go in qualifying. Here comes somebody out of the pit lane. And that'll be Carlos Sainz. So Carlos Sainz on an outlap, 5:44 to go. Alexander Albon on an outlap. So here we go. And now another guy will be coming out. That's Sebastian Vettel. So on board with Carlos Sainz. We're on board with Carlos Sainz. Here we are on the front stretch. Sainz, the second driver of the next round, to take a lap time. So, Albon, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Vettel, Leclerc on outlaps. Here comes Albon on the fast lap. Next, Sebastian Vettel. Carlos Sainz into the final sector. 3:14 to go. He will not get another one in unless he just stays out on the racetrack. Carlos Sainz will go 10th quickest. Next, Alexander Albon. Followed by Sebastian Vettel, Antonio Giovinazzi. Kevin Magnussen will be next. So he comes out of Albon, Vettel, Magnussen, Leclerc. Albon goes 11th quickest. Next, Sebastian Vettel. There's a lot of cars in Sector 1 now. This is going to be absolutely insane. 2 minutes remaining in qualifying. Everybody's out on the track. There's a caution in Sector 1. Vettel goes 6th quickest. Next, Vettel will be Magnussen.
Magnussen.
Magnussen says he's on a lap, but he is on a time lap. Charles Leclerc, though, is on a fast lap. Markel's on an out lap. Malenko not coming out. Malenko's going to stay, even though it's not on the pole. 1:31.599 for Malenko. He will not have enough time to get out there and go around again, so Malenko's done. Everybody's on outlaps now, trying to make it back to the start-finish line. Charles Leclerc, he comes to the start-finish line. Leclerc, he will go 7th quickest. Tyler Markle's on another fast lap. He has to pull it now. Let's see if Pierre Gasly can do anything. And a lot of guys through Sector 1 and 3 now. Sector 2 is quiet compared to the other two. The front stretch is lit with cars. So now Markle, Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas on timed laps as well. Verstappen just hit the start-finish line now. There's still guys coming around. Pierre Gasly now into Sector 2, into Sector 3 now. Sector 3 is a lot of long sweeping corners. There goes Gasly through the right-hander. So Malenko will keep his 1:31.599. He won't be able to do anything about it, and that's all it's going to be. Pierre Gasly goes 6th quickest. Raikkonen 9th quickest now. Markle in the 3rd sector. This is all we're going to get. It either goes or it doesn't for Markle. He's on the pole, though, so we'll see if he keeps it. Hamilton's on a flyer. Markle to the start-finish straight, and an even faster lap. So Markle will start on the pole. And that was an absolute blazing lap time. So Markle a 1:31.047. Pierre Gasly had a 5-place grid penalty, most likely for the incident with Stroll. You see there, Malenko had exceeding track limits. Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll had 5-place grid penalties. So Pierre Gasly qualified 6th, but will start 11th. Tomorrow. Lance Stroll, we're not surprised he didn't qualify up there, but he will start back at the grid. He will start from the moon. He'll start 24th tomorrow out of 20 vehicles.
You hear him, Malenko? Mal?
This may not go good.
It's that guy. So I believe he's here. Or might be here.
So here we go. We await the drivers about to take on the Circuit of the Americas race. This race should be about 26 to 27 laps. I believe it's a 27 lapper here in Austin, Texas. It's going to be a fun one. Malenko is ready to go. So we are good to go. Malenko just being a little quiet. And here we go. 28 laps is the total. And these guys before that are going to go on our all-important formation lap. So here we go. I'm going to go off the monitor here. On the front row, we have Carlos Sainz and Carlos Sainz. In row 2, we have Carlos Sainz and Carlos Sainz. In row 3, we... Alright. Let's go to the actual formation. Starting grid. On row 1, it's the Renaults. Markle and Malenko start first and second in that order. Row 2, we have the Mercedes duo. Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas start in that order. Row 3, from Red Bull, Max Verstappen, and alongside of him, from Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel. Row 4, from Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, and alongside of him from Alfa Romeo, Kimi Raikkonen. Row 5, from Toro Rosso, Daniel Kvyat, and alongside of him, Sergio Perez from Racing Point. Row 6, with the 5-place grid penalty from Red Bull, Pierre Gasly now starts 11th, and alongside of him from McLaren, Carlos Sainz. Row 7, from Toro Rosso, Alexander Albon, and alongside of him from McLaren, Lando Norris. Row 8, the Haas duo, Romain Grosjean, Kevin Magnussen in that order. Row 9, from Williams, George Russell, and alongside of him, Antonio Giovinazzi from Alfa Romeo. And in row 10, starting 19, due to luck, Robert Kubica from Williams. And alongside of him, actually a couple of grid places back, starting 24th, will be Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll actually starts 20th, but considering he qualified 19th on a 5-place grid penalty, technically should be starting 24th on the grid out of 20 cars. Anyway, here we go through Sector 3. Markle getting pretty close, so we're going to see if we can get a quick word with Malenko here. Malenko, you didn't go ahead, you didn't try to take another time there in qualifying. You were content starting second to your teammate?
Yep.
That's all you needed to hear. Anyway, the Renault drivers, they're gridding up now, and they're getting ready to go and embark on 28 fast ones around the Circuit of the Americas circuit here for the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas. So the drivers, they have gridded up and we are ready to go. It's time, the lights, they're going up, they're on. It's 5 of them. It's time to bring the action, and it's lights out. And away we go. The Renaults are off to a great start, but look at Valtteri Bottas on the outside looking to make a move. Now that's Lewis Hamilton up to second on the outside of Malenko. He gets shoved out wide. Now Bottas to the inside. He goes to third. 3 wide behind him. Raikkonen is to 5th, trying to get around Max Verstappen. Raikkonen fighting hard. Raikkonen will go to 5th. Now he sets his sights on Lewis Hamilton in that Alfa Romeo. How about that? Kimi Raikkonen looking to overtake a Mercedes. He used to be able to do that in his Ferrari days, but Alfa Romeo, he is outperforming that car. Max Verstappen back onto the gearbox of Kimi Raikkonen. Verstappen won't be able to do anything without DRS. He can try to slipstream and pass him, but that's about it. Not many overtakes going on down the backstretch. Everybody single file down the back. Raikkonen a little defensive line into the corner, but not much of a threat from Verstappen. Back up front, the Renault duo have sorted themselves out in the places they have qualified. Markle in first, Malenko second. Bottas up 1 on teammate Lewis Hamilton. Raikkonen up 3 from where he started there in 5th. Verstappen 6th. The Ferrari duo 7th and 8th. Kvyat 9th. Pierre Gasly up 1 from where he started in 10th. Raikkonen now heading to Q, losing ground to the Mercedes quickly. Hamilton's got to get on it. So Verstappen did get around Kimi Räikkönen. Now Verstappen set his sights on the Mercedes duo in front of him. Leclerc to 7th over Vettel. And a caution in sector 1 and 2. Somebody's gone around. That's Malenko. Malenko all the way back to 10th, but he's kept it going. So we can get back going straight here. And he is. I mean, if he can get his rhythm back going, he will be able to start overtaking vehicles. Right now has a threat from Sergio Perez shooting down the inside. He blocks that. No problem. Malenko set the sights on Pierre Gasly now. New target. Oh, wow. What a camera here. Look at Kimi Räikkönen trying to defend against Charles Leclerc. Leclerc up to 5th. And they made contact. Leclerc hit the brakes on Räikkönen, trying to make the undercut now. The crossover. Räikkönen still in the gearbox of that Ferrari. Malenko with a double overtake on Gasly, and Kvyat up to 8th he goes, setting his sights on the dueling former teammates of Räikkönen and Vettel. Malenko loses the spot to Kvyat, and now all over the gearbox. DRS is enabled. He goes wide, trying to fend off Kvyat. He's heading to the pits. No front wing on that Renault. Marco has an astounding leader now, 4 seconds over Hamilton and Bottas, and Verstappen now in the trio from 2nd to 5th. Leclerc now starting to pull away from Räikkönen. Again, Räikkönen showing the true colors of that car now, being overtaken. He did a phenomenal job to get the 5th, but that car not giving him the resources he needs to stay in 5th. Look at Vettel looking for a way around Kimi Räikkönen now. Räikkönen and Vettel, they raced their entire, well, not their entire careers, but they raced a bunch. I mean, Räikkönen raced Vettel maybe only half of his career, if at all.
God damn. That's something so.
And Räikkönen's been in this sport too long. Vettel now with DRS looks to overtake Kimi Räikkönen. Räikkönen saw DRS on Leclerc, but Vettel shoots to the inside of Räikkönen. Visits for 6th. Vettel goes around. And into the 6th position he goes. Not clear of Räikkönen just yet, but sends him wide on the exit, and he will go clear. Verstappen to the inside of Bottas. They're going to go side by side. Valtteri trying to fend off the attack from Max. Max has the preferred line and a long sweeping right-hander. Here we go, but Bottas gets the advantage. Big gap now. Bottas to 3rd. Bottas wasn't 3rd, but keeps 3rd from Max Verstappen. Leclerc setting his sights on that battle. Vettel now clear of Räikkönen, can focus on following his Ferrari teammate. Huge queue of cars right now. Kubica just passed Stroll for 18th. That is not of importance. Kvyat trying to hold on to the 9th position from Sergio Perez. They're going toe-to-toe into the S's. Here we go. I mean, looking at this huge queue of cars right now as Perez overtakes Kvyat for 9th. Huge queue of cars. Kvyat, or with Perez, Kvyat, Sainz, Albon, Norris, Grosjean, Magnussen, Russell, Benazzi in this queue. Meanwhile, Stroll and Kubica, they would be in the queue, but I think they start back. Malenko in 20th, but he's pitted for a new front wing, and he's put on the soft top.
Your mic's going on, Emerson.
He's put on the hard tires.
There you go.
Kvyat and Perez going at it as Leclerc and Ferrari teammate dueling for 5th. Vettel still looking for a way around Leclerc. Vettel had a go on him down the back stretch. Didn't have another shot down the front stretch. Up the hill they went. Leclerc was still able to maintain the gap. Through VS as we go now. Vettel able to close the gap a little bit through the second sector. Now looking to set his eyes on Leclerc on the backstretch here. Closing ever so slightly. It's now 0.4 of a second. Vettel will have another go. Vettel with the DRS. Leclerc's got nothing. Diving to the inside goes Vettel. Looking to clear Leclerc. He does so. Into the corner. Vettel to 5th. Sainz to Kvyat. There's a lot of overtaking down the backstretch. We expected this as they were all queued up nose to tail. Sainz trying to hold on to 10th over Albon. Albon now going to toe with Kvyat. Toro Rosso teammates going on for 11th. Meanwhile, everybody behind him and around him has gone single file. Now Albon able to hold on to 11th over Kvyat. Norris, he's hungry for 12. He's looking at Kvyat now. Huge run on Kvyat. Kvyat with the DRS trying to defend against Norris. Norris diving to the outside into turn 1. Kvyat with the defensive line trying to hold on to the position by blocking the apex off to Norris. But Norris has the preferred line to the next corner. Still side by side for 12th. Norris now with the advantage. No, Kvyat gets the advantage into the next corner. And he clears Norris. Norris won't give up though. He knows he's faster than that Toro Rosso. Looking to the outside of the Russian once again. Norris can't get there, but I have DRS on Kvyat. Albon got nothing, but look at Carlos Sainz. He's looking for 10th once again. For 9th once again. On Sergio Perez, and he does so. Norris to 12, and he's bringing a friend. He's bringing Romain Grosjean into the battle. Diving to the inside goes Grosjean. Maybe a 2-for-1 special, maybe. No, he settles into 13th. Norris to 12th. Kvyat loses 2 spots in that exchange in 14th. So we're heading to about the 1/4 mark of this race. Marco has a 5-second lead over Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's got another 4 seconds to Valtteri Bottas. Now trying to fend off Max Verstappen. Magnussen with a huge go at Kvyat now. He'll set him up now for the backstretch where he will have DRS. Here we go into the 10th corner on the circuit. Onto the backstretch we go. He's going to have slipstream before we get to DRS. Here goes Magnussen diving to the inside of Kvyat. Looks like he's bringing a friend. That's George Russell trying to get into the mix. He couldn't get there, but Magnussen does go to 14th. How about that from the Haas? Even though they're back in 13th and 14th, they're still making moves. Norris hanging on to 12. Sainz has pulled away. Marco, Bottas, and Verstappen head to the pit lane. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of this race. Raikkonen into the pit lane. So Verstappen, Bottas, Vettel, and Leclerc pit. Leclerc's boxed. And Valtteri Bottas, he's boxed in behind Charles Leclerc. Oh, what a race! Valtteri got screwed by the Ferrari stacking Leclerc. Leclerc's getting screwed. He's coming out in 19th. Leclerc, he's gonna go from 6th to about 12th on a terrible exchange of pit stops. Kvyat fixing a front wing. What a terrible exchange of pit stops. And a caution in sector 2. Somebody's gone around. That's Pierre Gasly. Gasly's gone around.
God damn it.
And most likely teammate from contact from Markle, maybe.
It didn't break the wing horse. It means Hamilton's gonna go in front. Dude.
Pierre Gasly trying to get back going now. Well, Gasly was second. He still has yet to pit, and he's back in 19th. Bad race for Gasly. He won't be able to do anything about it. Hamilton, finally, after what an eventful lap that was, will be able to get to the pit lane the next time around. Carlos Sainz in second. Huge gap. Hamilton had 15 seconds. May come out still. Actually, he will come out about 6th. But that's not considering all the cars have to pit. So here comes Sainz to pit lane. Marco goes by. Perez, Albon go in. Norris stays out. Norris will most likely be racing Hamilton on the pit exit. Hamilton will get Norris, so Hamilton second and gains time on Markle. Norris, Grosjean still have yet to pit. Actually, they're on mediums. They're going to go longer. Verstappen's on mediums, maybe trying to go to the end. Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Russell on mediums, staying out. Stroll still has yet to pit. Vettel back in 10th, but a lot of cars in front of him still have to pit. How about that? Bottas back in 12th behind Robert Kubica. So you have to think it is not a great side right now. Valtteri Bottas dead smack middle of the field, and even though Kubica still has yet to pit, right behind Robert Kubica. That is not the Mercedes way you'd think. Russell in the 7th around Antonio Giovinazzi, by the way. So Lando Norris now 3rd on the podium right now for Lando Norris. Malico in the 14th. He's on the hards. We'll see how long he goes on those tires. He did pit pretty early, but can he go 28 laps on those? He may also just go to the end and pit for stops. I believe it's a 2-stopper for everybody. I don't believe drivers can make 20 laps on mediums, but we'll see. So Norris right now leading the charge of the drivers who started the race on mediums. Antonio Giovinazzi to the pit lane. Russell 7. Lance Stroll to the pit lane. Giovinazzi 8th. Vettel 9th. Bottas to 10th. He got around Kubica. Lance Stroll, he started rear of the field and right now comes out 18th in front of... He's not out yet, but he will come out in front of Pierre Gasly at the least. He'll be racing Kvyat on the pit exit! Ooh, Kvyat barely holds on to 18th. But Pierre Gasly, terrible race. That's going to do him good in the points. He was nearly in championship contention. He's in the top 10 in points, and he was nearly 100 out, if not over. But you'd think he had his sights maybe set on a certain position in the points. That's not going to help. Hamilton's now closed the gap to 2 seconds. He's on the softs. Hamilton looking for the race lead. And we know these guys, they gotta make another stop, more than likely. Hamilton's trying to use this to his advantage. Romain Grosjean to the pit lane now. surrendering 4th to Max Verstappen, who's on the mediums, the same strategy as Markle. Vettel to 6th. Now you gotta think a lap difference, but did it make that much of a difference to change what tire you take? Hamilton still has to choose a second dry compound. Malenko into the top 10 once again, but he's on the hards, even though if you look, he's apparently on pink tires, white and red tires, depending on the camera frame. Now Malenko has to set his sights on 9th place, Robert Kubica.
Malenko somehow has hypersofts on there.
Malenko right now trying to get around 9th place Robert Kubica, but is under attack from Sainz and Leclerc. Leclerc right now in 12th, and you know that is not where Leclerc was running, but due to terrible timing on the Ferrari team, for some reason pitting him on the same lap as Vettel, Leclerc gets screwed and sent all the way back to 12th after he was, I believe, near the top 5, if not in the top 5. Right now Vettel in 6th, in front of Valtteri Bottas. Bottas right now was where Verstappen is, so Bottas lost about 7 seconds to Max Verstappen. He was in front of Verstappen before pit stops. And now he is 7 seconds behind Verstappen. So, you know, Leclerc being stacked behind Vettel on the pit lane hurt Valtteri Bottas, who was not stacked. Hamilton has closed the gap to 2 seconds, but has not closed any more than 2 seconds. Kubica to the pit lane now. We still are waiting on Norris, Magnussen, and Malenko to make pit stops this round. We know Malenko pitted early, but he's on the hards. He will probably try to stretch it to the next pit stop. I believe these guys still have to make one more pit stop. I can't see these guys going 16 laps, 20 laps on softs and mediums at this track. So Hamilton, he can see the Renault of Tyler Markle, but he has not made any gains on the Renault of Tyler Markle. Carlos Sainz has gone around Malenko with 6-lap fresher tires and DRS. Sainz trying to hold on to 9th. Malenko's trying to get back. Malenko does get right back in front of Sainz, but Sainz is on the aggressive. Malenko has not been able to break away from Sainz and not been able to make any more time. He is still 26 seconds behind race leader and teammate Tyler Markle. At least Malenko's in the points, but he knows he has to gain even more because at the moment Hamilton's still going to be gaining on him no matter what, unless Malenko can finish in front of Hamilton in the points. And a huge overtake here. Vettel going to 5th on Kevin Magnussen. Bottas trying to get in on this battle. So Vettel, Magnussen, and Bottas 5th, 6th, 7th, nose to tail. The caution in Sector 1. That is Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is out. Mechanical issue, pulls to the side of turn 1. You hate to see it for Carlos Sainz. But another DNF for McLaren. Mechanical issues. Bottas gets 6th on Magnussen. Albon to 10th on Leclerc. Giovinazzi and Russell, they're going toe-to-toe for 16th. Marco goes by now in turn 1. Norris and Magnussen, they pit. Malco up to 7th, but he still has to pit. How long is he going to go? Norris and Magnussen, they're making a one-stop race here. They went from the mediums to the hards. They're going to the end. So Stroll to 14th after starting 20th on the grid. But he still has to make a stop. He pitted for the softs. How about that? Lewis Hamilton has not really lost any time to Tyler Markle in front of him. So Lewis Hamilton holding station in second, 15 seconds back of Markle is Max Verstappen. 23 seconds back of Markle is Sebastian Vettel. For 22 and a half, Valtteri's 24 back. Raikkonen right now 6th, 27 back, and Malenko 30 seconds back. Malenko goes off the track. Those hard tires are getting old. So Malenko trying to get all the life he can out of those hard tires. Trying to make it to his next pit stop so he can pit for the softs and try to go to the end, or at least the mediums. Considering he had to go the length of 2 stints on a set of hards. So the soft tires are getting worn out more, and Hamilton's 7-lap old softs are now losing time to the 8-lap mediums. Vettel to the pit lane now on the soft tires. He's making his final pit stop of the race. He's going to the mediums. Those mediums are going to have to go 12 laps. Leclerc in as well. They pitted on the same lap this time, but no stacking from Ferrari. Ferrari was the first one to blink. Who follows suit? We expect Hamilton, Albon, Perez, and Stroll and Gasly in the coming laps. And Markle either soon pits for another set of mediums or goes as long as he can on those mediums and pits for softs. Either way, it looks like the best strategy is 2 softs and a set of mediums this race. Though you gotta look at Lando Norris, who went from the mediums to the hards, right now in 10th. And same with Kevin Magnussen. Here comes Hamilton. Hamilton onto the mediums. Verstappen is in. Bottas is not coming back in, even though that Mercedes crew is sitting out there. So, no. Yeah, Bottas went by, but the Mercedes crew faking out there. Here comes Malenko. He's coming in, most likely putting on a set of mediums. Let's see. And there he goes. Albon in as well. Sergio Perez is in. Everybody going to the mediums. Pierre Gasly goes out another lap. So Marco on those mediums. When did the drivers who put on a set of mediums on their first stop come in? That strategy consists of Marco, Bottas, Raikkonen, Kvyat, Russell, Giovinazzi also on, and Grosjean are on 7-lap-old mediums. And we know Norris and Magnussen will not be making another stop. They're going another lap or so on hards. And here comes Marco in on the mediums. So whatever tire he puts on, he's going another 10 laps on. And he's going to the mediums. Go from the medium tire to the medium tire. And there he goes. Stroll and Russell, they're going toe-to-toe. Different sets of tires. Nearly the same age.
Go. Go.
Marco right now racing on the pit exit. Hamilton for full head of steam. This is going to be close. Into turn 1 we go. Hamilton really aggressive. 1.2 seconds is the gap. Hamilton, he's just got to work himself a little bit more to get in DRS range. 1.076 seconds over the last scoring loop. Bottas, Raikkonen, and Kvyat are in. And Lance Stroll. Hamilton is in view. He's in fighting range of this race victory. A huge gaggle cars right where Raikkonen came out. Malenko goes by, into the points he goes on the fresh mediums. And he has a couple drivers already in front of him that will have to pit, at least 3 in front of him. And Norris on the hards out in front of him as well. He sees Bottas in his sights as well. Hamilton a second and a half back, but he's on a lap older medium tires than Markle. So Hamilton fought his life out, came very close, but could not get in DRS range of Markle. He was 1.076 at the closest point. Malenko to 9th. Hamilton now down to 2 seconds. Malenko working on Russell. From Malenko to 8th. and Hamilton will not be able to get this race win unless some mistake Markle makes throws a wrench into the race. And a 3-second time penalty for Markle. Multiple warnings. He's got to extend that gap at least 3 seconds, because right now Lewis Hamilton technically is your Grand Prix winner, Grand Prix leader at the moment. Markle can't open up that gap. It's literally 2/10 he has to gain on Hamilton, but can he do it? And things just got spicy up front. Can Vareno open up another 2 seconds on the Mercedes? And also, what Malenko doesn't want is Markle to have less than a 3-second lead over Hamilton, so Hamilton gains more points. Right now it's 2.9 seconds. And Vettel to 4th on Romain Grosjean. But with that, Markle sets the fastest lap of 1:34.949 on the medium compound. He's now opened up to 3.3 seconds. Hamilton's got to get on it. He knows if he can stay within 3 seconds, he wins, but he's losing time. Malenko on the aggressive to try to salvage what day he can. Grosjean into the pit, so he will at least go to 7th. He's seconds back of Lando Norris and Valtteri Bottas. Grosjean fits the softs. He's down and away. Can he get into the points? A lot of cars just went by him. Grosjean, he's just got to catch those cars in front of him, embed himself into that battle, and he'll have a shot at points. Right now comes out 14th. Russell into the pits as well. He fits the softs. Stroll going by on the front stretch. He's going to 17th. The caution in sector 1 and 2. That's Lando Norris. Norris is gone. Both McLarens with trouble. Norris is pulled off to the side. Again, a McLaren in trouble early, or in this Grand Prix. And how about that? A double retirement from McLaren. I don't know what is wrong with those McLaren cars, but they've got to step it up. There is 2 retirements in the same Grand Prix and prone to it. And Malenko a 3-second time penalty, and that time was clear. He extended track limits easily. So Malenko not only has to try to catch Valtteri Bottas, but pass him and gap 3 seconds. At the moment, he's still good for the spot he's in right now, which is 6th position. But that's it. Hamilton right now 2nd. Theoretically, 1.7 seconds behind the invisible gap he should be in. Giovinazzi into the pit lane. He's fitting a set of softs. Grosjean to 12th. Kubica's in as well. So Giovinazzi to the softs. Kubica. Here he comes to his garage pit stall. He's fitting the softs. Kubica right now 18th. Stroll to 14th. But he's under pressure from George Russell and the Williams. Pierre Gasly on his way as well. We know the Red Bull can outperform the Racing Point, but can he get there in time? So the thing to watch, Romain Grosjean has embedded himself into the battle for points. The drivers he's got to pass consist of Sergio Perez and teammate Kevin Magnussen. Alexander Albon to 8th over Kimi Räikkönen. And here we go. A fierce battle between them. 3 wide on the bottom of the racetrack. Heading it down into the end of the backstretch into Haas drivers are now 11th and 12th. Magnussen trying to shoot by Perez again for 10th. Magnussen with the preferred line. Perez on the outside trying to get the run on the exit. They're still side by side. Here we go into a tight left-hander. Perez with the advantage, trying to clear Magnussen, and he will do so. Grosjean still with the softer tires. He's got to get around him quick before his tires get used up. Here comes Grosjean diving to the inside of teammate Magnussen. So now, Romain Grosjean, 211, one spot out. Will the strategy be fulfilled? We will see soon in the coming laps. 5 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. Grosjean behind Perez as they head their way to the backstretch, and that's where all the magic happens. Raikkonen to 8th. On Albon once again, and Grosjean into the points, trying to clear Perez on the outside. So Raikkonen right now in 8th, trying to hold on to that spot over Albon. Grosjean on the soft tires, maybe looking to maybe even take 8th. Malenko right now 7 seconds out of Valtteri Bottas. Looks to appears like he won't catch Bottas and pass him and gap him 3 seconds. But anything can happen. Hamilton now down 6.5 seconds off Markle. Markle, if he could get another penalty, would make things spicy once again. I believe Markle's just trying to make it to the end without going off the track. That Max Verstappen kind of in no man's land, 24 seconds off the lead and 7 seconds ahead of next competitor, Sebastian Vettel. Closing laps. 4 to go here, and Raikkonen goes to 8th, or goes back to 9 because Albon makes the overtake on the backstretch. These two are fun to watch. We got to keep an eye on those. But also as well, Romain Grosjean on the attack. Russell to 13th over Kvyat. Pierre Gasly around Lance Stroll. Stroll back to 16th, and Giovinazzi on the soft tires. He looks to maybe have a bite at Stroll as well. Kubica not so much. Kubica will most likely finish right where he is right now in 18th. Markle may even come to lap him. Markle now entering the backstretch. Kubica just left the backstretch. Most likely won't be lapped, but you have to say that's still insane. Markle 6.6 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton, just trying to bring it home. This time around will be 3 laps remaining in the United States Grand Prix. Russell to 13th. But looks to set his sights on Kevin Magnussen in 12th. I don't believe he can gain 5 seconds in 3 laps in a Williams compared to a Haas, but is on the softs compared to hards. So here we go again. Albon and Raikkonen, they're dueling for 8th, and Grosjean looks to join in as well. Malenko's closed the gap between himself and Bottas down to 5 seconds, but there's no way he can catch and pass and gain 3 seconds on Valtteri, so 6th place looks to be home for Malenko at the moment, unless anything spectacular happens in front of him. So we got a 3-car battle for 8th between Albon, Raikkonen, and Grosjean, and 3 different compounds. Albon on the medium, 7 laps old, Raikkonen on the hard, 6 laps old, and Grosjean on the softs, 4 laps old. Now they cross the line, all of those numbers went up 1. Raikkonen diving to the inside of Albon. He goes trying to clear Albon into turn 1, and he does so. So Raikkonen back 8th. Haven't seen many overtakes down the front stretch and into turn 1, but there was one right there between Raikkonen and Albon. Grosjean on the gearbox of Albon now in the points looking for more. Don't get too greedy though, you don't want to go off. So we'll see how Grosjean fares here in the closing laps. 2.5 laps remaining in the United States Grand Prix. Markle into the final sector now. So all that I was talking about is 56 seconds behind Markle now. Kubica just exited turn 1. Markle just crossed the start-finish line for 2 laps remaining in the Grand Prix. Hamilton 6.8 seconds. Verstappen 26 seconds back. Vettel 34. Bottas 37. Malenko 40. Leclerc 51. Raikkonen and friends 56.5 seconds back. Sergio Perez 60 seconds back. Magnussen 63. Russell 67. Kvyat 68. Pierre Gasly 70. Antonio Giovinazzi 76. Lance Stroll 79. And Robert Kubica 84 seconds back of race leader Tyler Markle, now entering the backstretch for the second to final time, the penultimate time on the backstretch. 7.25 the gap between himself and Hamilton, so even another 3-second time penalty wouldn't do him in yet. Obviously you don't want another, but he has a little bit more breathing room as of now. Again, Albon to 8th on Raikkonen. That was on the front stretch. Grosjean is there as well, looking for a way around him, but those two are dueling so hard, he can't embed himself into the battle. He's just kind of there. What I will say though, in an interesting battle, will be the battle for last. Because I said Robert Kubica looked to be finishing 18th, but he's on 3 lap pressure and softer tires than 17th place Lance Stroll, and is closing on Stroll quickly. The gap is now just over a second between Stroll and Kubica. This could be the best battle for last place in a long time. On the last, they're coming to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Markle is on the last lap of the Grand Prix and is 85 seconds ahead of the last place battle. Pierre Gasly looking for 14th on Kvyat. They're going wheel to wheel. Grosjean trying to get more points on those softs, but has he drawn those softs to a shred? Kubica to 17th on Stroll. On board with Stroll, can he fight back? Kubica long clears of Stroll. And they're coming around to start the final lap. That was a nice battle for the last position there. Kvyat and Gasly, they're going to be going to the end for sure. So Markle right now into the final sector. It's been a while since I've been able to say this, but into the final corner. Markle will come out of turn 20 and win the United States Grand Prix. How about that for Tyler Markle? 6.8 seconds back. Lewis Hamilton will cross the line. Sometime later today, Max Verstappen will finish up his third and their last sector of the 28th lap of the Grand Prix. And all 3 of your podium drivers have finished the Grand Prix. That's all the time we have for on the race broadcast. Tune in for the post-race show, and you'll see Sebastian Vettel finish 4th, Valtteri Bottas come home 5th, and tune in on the nightly news to see Malenko finish 6th. 42 seconds behind teammate Markle, but not all of his doing. Did get into a spin early and lost the front wing. If he hadn't lost the front wing, he might have been able to maybe even still fight for the race win. But Markle comes out on top of Hamilton and Verstappen. That is your podium, and they are about to kick off the podium celebration. Somebody just attempted to contact good old Abe Lincoln.
What happened? So Malika, what happened? He did.
Oh, didn't even get a chance to look at the results.
Just watching a video, not really paying attention.
Okay.
Well, look at the points now. 50 points the gap Hamilton has. Not
Your
over.
mic's cutting
Looking at the
I started
points.
to go into the S's that lap, look down at my video, look back up, and all of a sudden I wasn't on the S's.
I am
So-
fourth now. Woo!
It's still doable, but Malika's got to get his life together here. 50 points back of Lewis Hamilton, still within 2 full points races. Now that there's a 20, the fastest
Your
lap.
poor Mike.
Is it really? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Just you're cutting in and out a little bit.
All right. We good?
Yeah, Vettel is shit.
Alright, so we take a look at the point standings. Lewis Hamilton 50 ahead of Malenko, 58 ahead of Max Verstappen. You'll find 76 back is Markle and Charles Leclerc. 104 back is Valtteri Bottas, and 106 back Pierre Gasly.
And then Vettel.
And Vettel, he is 113 back of Lewis Hamilton.
I can still do it. And
Still
it's gonna be
possible.
hard.
Technically, mathematically, it's still possible.
Yeah, it was
Or-
76 of 3 races.
7 Grand Prix to go.
Yeah. Technically with 175. Well, actually, 175 points
182
for the
points.
wins.
So as long as you have more than as long as you
What's
have more than
next?
26 points. So so Magnussen still has a mathematical shot to win the championship, but Sergio Perez, Kimi Raikkonen, Daniel Kvyat, Romain Grosjean, George Russell, Alexander Albon, Lance Stroll, Robert Kubica, and Antonio Giovinazzi have been mathematically eliminated.
Well, constructors ain't bad.
Look at the constructor standings. Mercedes has a 22-point lead over Renault and a 60-point lead over Aston Martin Red Bull. Let's look at the Grand Prix results once more. For the 13th
Don't worry about
Grand Prix
that 10th place constructor team. Williams just, 11
of the
points.
season.
Good job.
See Markle with the fastest lap. Hamilton there.
Alright, ending stream.
Yep. I cannot believe they only have 11 points. They are 301 points behind Mercedes.
By the way, Markle, to actually